in today. It could be of interest for them as well. Right, so as you know, each quarter we are releasing a new version of SMW+. And with this particular version, which is 1.153, which came out right before Easter, we have realized a couple of things. One thing is more or less organizationally, namely that we have changed our license model. We have started a public survey in February or March or so, asking the community about how important is it for you to have a free Windows installer version of SMW+. And your reply was quite obvious. And so more than the half of the people, I believe 80 or 85 votes returned, came in, told that having a free Windows installer is of utmost importance of them. So we have decided to make the Windows installer for free and pack it into the SMW+ Community Edition, which is available for free on the net. So this was one major improvement, organizationally, so to say. The other improvements are feature-wise. I come to them in a minute. So again, as what's inside of SMW+, this is the entire stack, which is required to operate the wiki, plus the usability extensions, which we are implementing in Project Halo. So, for example, the ontology browser, the query interface, etc., is in SMW+. And also, we're sticking in the Visibic extension, a better retrieval extension, and the installation tool, which we call deployment framework. This is part, the software part of SMW+. The rest of the extensions, for example, the semantic gardening extension, or the preview extension, which you already know, this is still available, but this is not part of the software core of SMW+. So you can, please, you can read that all up in this article here in our product portal. So we believe that this was a wise move to market SMW+ Community Edition for free for you, but what you will get here is Windows installer, VMware, image, Amazon, and an installation from source code is available. But what you will not expect here is warranty and a support contract. This is not possible here. If you require warranty, then you would simply get a product key from us. You go to our web shop and buy a product key, upload that into your SMW+ installation, and this makes your SMW+ installation and SMW+ professional. Their enterprise is then giving you support services and warranty and the possibility to enter into a support contract with us. This means that whenever you are having a technical issue with your installation, you simply file a ticket in our enterprise support system, and this ticket will then pop up my team, and they're taking care of it and get into touch to you to get that fixed. All right, now let's come to the features. This is what people mostly are interested in. We have the great installation tool, deployment framework, is it called, and this tool makes it fairly easy to upgrade and to maintain an installation. So let me demonstrate that with this wiki here. So this is the wiki which I have had yesterday for the demonstration. Let me take a look here into all content bundles to show you what's in there. So just a couple of content bundles. And now let me install a new extension to it, namely the preview extension. And in order to do so, I open the command line interface. And just as a side note, with the next release, you will get a graphical web user interface for that. And here I have a command at hand. So this command, for example, lists me what I have installed in my wiki and what's available in our enterprise repository. And what we see here is, for example, the semantic preview. Where is it? My eyes are not the best. Preview extension. This is what is not installed right now. And this is what I will install. Just typing in the sequence by this command. Now, if the network works properly, it will retrieve the software from our repository, will install it, and will auto-configure the local settings. So there's no need to open the local settings file and to register this new extension edit. And this is what you will probably like the most. But we find it a good policy to ship with each extension a kind of sandbox, which gives you a quick start to the functionality of the extension you have installed. So everything seems to be fine. So normally I'm advised to call it refresh script, but in this case this is not necessary. So you see if here a new set of articles, namely the preview content bundle, and here is a short introduction how I can use it. Alright, here it is. This is the preview. Here's a real-world example in it and some sample code. And I would say without even taking a look into the user manual, everybody would be able to make efficiently use of this newly installed extension. Alright, so this is the so-called deployment framework. I'll talk about that tomorrow again briefly, because you can use this deployment framework also to craft by yourself such content bundles which contains articles which you probably want to give to other people, and you simply tick them in your wiki and tell the deployment framework that you want to wrap them up and export them, and then the deployment framework wraps them and puts them into a zip file, and that zip file can be sent off to colleagues, or you could set up your own repository, and then other people just call SMW admin and import these articles into their wiki. Good. Another set of features was intended to bring back the agility to the users or the wiki text programmers of a wiki. Agility means that I'm not being punished by changing data model or by having often changes in the data model. which makes it often hard for other users to build inline queries, for example. Because without knowing a lot about the data model, it's fairly hard to build an as query, because I need to make reference to the ontology. So in this led us to the idea that we require an exploration means in the wiki which automatically adapts to the current data model in the wiki on the fly. How does this look like? I'm opening the wiki again, and here we should see a menu item named Faceted Search. And this is the user interface of it. We have here an entry field, and we have here a couple of properties and categories we have at hand in this wiki. Now, from the demonstration yesterday, we know that I have a heap of projects in that wiki, so let's explore what kind of project we have here. I select the facet project, and this takes effect then instantaneously, and here in the result part of the user interface I get only the instances of project. Now the interesting thing comes now. Here is listed only the properties which are existing for all of the projects. So for example, I have here start dates, end date, progress, and state, and now I can drill down and select facets for that. So for example, I could be interested into the available states my existing projects have. So I want to drill down now into the new projects. I simply click on it, and now I've selected this facet. All right, I can delete it and select another facet, for example, the progress, which is somehow in percent formulated. So we have 3 projects in our wiki right now with a progress between 10 and 25%, etc. So these facets are generated on the fly. So if another user now creates another project or changes progress for an existing project, then you would see that after reloading or clicking on an element here. So there's no need to manually define filters, for example. That's not required here. The same holds true with dates and date ranges. For example, here we have all the start dates, and our clustering algorithm here proposes 2 clusters of start dates, and so we have a fairly old project in the wiki and 2 rather recent projects. I select them, and now I've drilled down into the set of projects. Okay, so as you probably see that quite easily, there's no need to look up what categories are in the wiki and how they interrelate with the properties and what values are available for the properties. No need. That's avoided here with this great user interface. We will keep on working on that. We know that the user interface is still a bit rough, but it's extremely fast. Let me type in a search term here. And as I type in, I'm getting here results, and it's really fun to work with that. Now you can explore your wiki really in a couple of seconds. Or questions to that? because we are really proud of that software. Mark? Okay. Mark?
Does it? I can't remember. This works with the ACL too, so that if you're bombed out of a particular property, do you see it here, or is that?
Michael, do you know that?
The answer is doesn't work with ACL.
Okay.
Currently, all the data, we're storing the complete set of semantic data in Solar indexer, which make access to like immediate, but this goes not through the ACL step. We are planning to look into this issue, but if the response time goes down like unusable, we won't combine it. And so if you need to protect your pages and properties, especially the browsing is not available for you right now.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's just probably good to get that out on the table before somebody tries it and it breaks.
Right. Yeah, Joel?
Is there an ability to configure faceted search? So say I have like 50 categories, I can only show, this categories I know will be the ones that the users are interested in.
So you would keep categories away from users?
Maybe like say I only the top 10 ones that I know my users are concerned about. They're not concerned about events or
This is already reflected here. So you see, not all of the existing categories are displayed here and are offered. Only if you click on more, then you will get them.
But the honest answer is no, you cannot configure. But you see the classes with most instances, the properties with most instances are listed on the top. And our design goal was to have a faceted search feature which works without any configuration at all, and nevertheless gives you the ability to see the complete wiki in its entirety. If you want to configure things, we didn't plan for this. And since this is like a general purpose interface, the search box up there currently only looks into the title of pages, which is of course only the first step. Actually, you want to combine this faceted search with full text search. You enter something, and the background, all pages containing this search term are listed. If you hit return, the facets on the left-hand side are reduced to the set of categories and properties that those pages having this search term in its content. You know what I mean.
It's impressive.
So the configuration, maybe you're right, maybe you want to configure, but I don't see the use case yet.
Okay, let us know if it's needed. We're happy about it. Any other questions to this feature? All right, okay. So this is an agility feature, right? So this is what I've extensively showed to you yesterday. The ontology browser becomes your central hub for creating and mostly editing instances, categories, and properties. The semantic toolbar comes with annotation proposals. Let me show that to you. This goes fairly fast. Remember here, we have the event. I create a new instance. Name it milestone 2. I save it. Now I open it in order to do annotations which comply to the schema. And without the semantic toolbar, you are quite directionless. You don't know which properties I should now really annotate here and use here. So for these cases, we have invented the recommended properties section here in our semantic toolbar. And this section recommends to you properties which you should use for your annotation work here in order to create an instance which complies to the data model. Okay, so this is gives you more guidance in working with the wiki. All right, a next feature which we have put into the semantic toolbar is you can call now the query interface from within the semantic toolbar. Now, for example, here, I want to create a new inline query, for example, about all projects. I can give that query a name. Category and project. And add a property, for example. Let's take the progress. All right. Now here you have the result preview. And this allows you to make a trial and error work when assembling your inline query. And also, if you want to, you can select here another query result printer. For example, this one. And this gives you the actual layout of the printer. And if you save the query, you have two things then in your article. One is the inline query in Wikitext code, and secondly, you have a reference to this query in the inline queries folder, so to say, of your semantic toolbar. And if you like to, you can open it again and change it if you don't like it. Or what's also quite neat, in order to reduce the mess in your wiki, you can reuse existing queries. For example, wasn't there a query which I have done recently, or a colleague, which involved projects? Now let's see. Now the entire wiki is searched for queries which make use of the category project and are listed here. All right, you remember from yesterday we had a tabular form defined on the project dashboard, and if I like to, I can load this again into this wiki. All right, here we go. Here can I inspect it, and if I click on OK, then I would reuse it and copy it into my existing article here. Now, let me take that as an opportunity to go into the project dashboard. This is what should not happen. Let's go to the project dashboard. Let's come to the last feature we have implemented in order to bring back the agility for your users. Namely, this is here our tabular forms result printer. This is like a regular inline query with it's an ask parser function, and it has just another result printer which is named tabular form, and here you can change values as you like to at will. You have even auto-completion here for each of these fields. And like you are used it with Microsoft Excel, you can quickly navigate through the fields to quickly make changes to probably broken data or wrong data. Here, for example, we have progress now of 50%. save it. And if I click refresh, I believe that our progress bars here will change. So you see, oops, full screen. This is a really a highly useful feature. Okay. All right. So, with version 1.5.3, we are including all of our extensions and foreign extensions for semantic forms into what we call the SMW Plus extension suite. And each of these extensions in the extension suite can be found in our enterprise repository and downloaded and upgraded with the installation tool. We have this probably for corporate users of interest. We have the Halo access control extension. This gives you fine-grained security access on the contents of your wiki. Okay, other related products which are of interest for you is the Triple Store Basic. This is for free. This includes the Jenna reasoner. And here you have the capability of formulating logical rules in your wiki, and Jenna will evaluate these rules and infer new data based on your existing data. And a really big thing which we have accomplished in this quarter is that we have fully included Enterprise's flagship product named OntoBroker in the Triple Store Professional. And this thing allows corporate users to access heterogeneous data in which is sitting in data silos. Michael has demonstrated that today. And I don't want to forget to mention that irradiation licenses are available for you. Just give me your business card and we will give to you the software. All right, what are we going to do in the next couple of quarters? We will implement a user interface for the installation tool, and this means that there's no need anymore to go into the command line or to log into the server in order to maintain your wiki. And that's, I believe, it's really a good thing. Then another big thing is we want to add more capabilities with regard to changing masses of data in the wiki. This is what we call refactoring support. We don't know how this will work and look like. We are going to plan for that. But this means you select a set of data in your wiki, and with some simple commands you will be enabled to change that data safely. Okay, really important is what we are working on with Vulkan since 1 year now, is to further improve how to include linked open data or linked data into the wiki, and there we have really great plans for this year. So I'm sure that for the fall meeting we will have an interesting demonstration for you. All right, that's it. Any questions?
How do multiple ontologies work? Just different namespaces, or?
He's asking how multiple ontologies will work in the wiki.
So the wiki, SMW, Semantic Media Wiki, can handle one ontology. And we didn't change this. I demonstrated that I can load an ontology via the deployment framework into the wiki. And similarly to the bundles that Alan has showed, all the pages that were loaded with this ontology get an additional annotation saying, I belong to this ontology. But nevertheless, from the conceptual point of view, everything will become one ontology. When there's a conflict, when I load a second ontology using the same concept, for example, we check this and we ask the users to provide means to disambiguate. That means all the classes will be renamed slightly so that they have a common prefix, for example. So we don't really have multi-ontology management in the wiki, but nevertheless they can be identified when we use the deployment framework for loading them into the wiki.
Okay, thank you.
I hope I didn't confuse anybody here with regard to what's SMW Plus and where is our Halo extension. So just to make it sure, SMW Plus includes everything, including a Halo extension, and this is meant for users or wiki administrators who set up a wiki from scratch and want to have it fairly easy. So in this case, they would go with SMW Plus Community Edition. In case you have already a highly customized wiki installation and you just want to enhance that with the ontology browser or even the deployment framework, then you would download still the Halo extension. And the Halo extension and SMW Plus will have always equal version numbers, so there will be no confusion when to download what and what is compatible with what else. Okay. Joel?
Is there the deployment framework?
Yeah.
Can that be used by somebody else to deploy their own content bundles? And
Yes, definitely. That's quite exhaustively documented here in SMW forum. Exactly this case, how to download the deployment framework and how to set up a personal repository which is completely independent from what Enterprise has and which runs on your web space, for example. This is possible, and this is a goal, also a design goal of the deployment framework.
So, for example, if you're a third-party reseller or consulting shop with SMW, right, this provides you a way to quickly get a complete package out to your customers, right? Or if you're, in a university, you're pushing stuff out to departments, something like that. Yeah, you can quickly do this because you can use the deployment framework for it.
Okay, so thank you.